So, our dogs have been causing a lot of riffraff in the neighborhood lately. Therefore, we need to put up another fence. We're going to do white post and rail wooden fence with field fence backing. Full rail, not that split rail stuff. I don't know why, I just don't like it. We want a fence that serves a purpose, it looks great, and goes well with our gravel driveway. In addition, I'll tally up how much did this cost us. Plus, trust me when I say this, a few very useful tips that are going to save you time. Oh yeah, one more thing. Weeds have gained an enemy stronghold in the driveway, and we're going to dispatch them as well. With fencing, assume it's going to be the biggest pain. But you might get lucky, and it goes a bit easier than expected. I won't get your hopes up, though. Have I mentioned that fencing sucks? We actually got a couple bids on this fence. The average of 3 bids was... dun dun dun. In all honesty, these are fair bids. But, like your typical homeowner, trying to save a few bucks, we're like, we got this. I would advise drilling holes after a good rain. It softens up the soil just a bit. For the post, I'm using treated 10-foot by 3.5-inch rails. Cutting them in half gets close to the length we need, minus some trimming later on. Don't be concerned with perfectly vertical yet. That will be taken care of when the rails are put up. Now is a good time to explain a concept so important to fencing that you will not be able to unsee this when someone has not taken this into consideration, and that's balancing the fence with your terrain. To better convey this concept, here's a quick sketch. Not all land is flat or gently rolling. It can be lumpy in nature. Therefore, pick 2 points and put your post up at a standard height. Pull a string line between the 2 posts and cut the post to that string line. This is what balancing a fence to the terrain means. Measuring from the top of the post for the rail positions ensures the rails will not conform to uneven terrain. I'll be using the same size rails as I did the post. This is a clamp I fashioned to hold the rails while the ends are cut out. I'm cutting the ends in this manner as opposed to notching because I like the way it looks and it makes for a tight fit. As with any project, you hone down a process and you learn a few hacks along the way. The ratchet strap was a game changer for eliminating small gaps. Make sure the screws are coated for pressure treated lumber or they will corrode out in a few years. The skill required for putting up a fence is not all that complex. Yeah, there's a few trade secrets, but the real difficulty comes from the repetitive, laborious nature of it. You gotta set daily goals and grind away. The paintbrush was abandoned for a sprayer. We had never used one before, and it was a bit of a learning curve. It's much faster, but you go through a lot more paint. Not that I would know, I was not the one covered in paint. It's called edging because it's the edge of your yard. It's where the grass ends and something else begins. Now, this was not a cost directly associated with the fence, but it was part of the overall project. This is regrinded asphalt mixed with a bit of pit rock. It compacts quite well. If you want to edge your driveway with something, say, like brick, then knock yourself out. But this is a long fence and just not worth it to us. Employing a cheap and simple gravel boundary works for us, and I'll show you how to maintain it. No need to overcomplicate this. If you don't spray, then you better pray, because weeds will always find a way. I'm opting for this industrial chemical, glyphosate, responsible for upsetting the balance of microorganisms in the soil on a massive worldwide scale. But it does work good. Now don't be in a rush. It will work. It just takes a little while. This is about a week later. That's all there is to it. Okay, let's add it up. Post and rails, screws, paint, a roll of field fence, a load of gravel, various random items, for a total of, minus the average bid price, we saved. Murph, the dog, appeared in this video 22 times. And with some of the money saved doing it ourselves, we went to a place far, far away from fencing.